Okay.
I can do that.
This thing isn't doing the job.
Let's go!
I shall be discreet.
Let's go! Let's go!
Let's throw down nice fat blessing on all of us.
Let's go! Let's go!
Where am I even at with this weapon right now? Almost there.
I shall deal with it. I shall deal with this one.
Let's check and see. $2,000.
Let's go.
Ooh, fine saber. Excuse me.
Yes?
I'm ready.
Got it.
The fuck is streamer mode? Oh. That's not that intrusive. That's good.
Laying low.
Ah, my back.
Let's go.
Couple of Adra beetles.
Let's
That's it.
and let's go.
That's it.
Howdy.
I've seen part of the new Lord of the Rings show. It's pretty good.
I haven't watched it yet.
It's pretty beautiful. It has the original music composer on it,
Oh shit, eh?
which is pretty damn good.
I'm streaming on YouTube, by the way, just so you know. I found a program that runs it pretty well. Yeah, I hear good things from some people so far. Just a kind of a mix. It's getting shit bomb reviews from some companies, all kinds of shit. You know what I mean? Oh my god. Messaging me now. Oh, this guy. Just gonna invite this guy to the chat. He wanted to talk about some cyberpunk stuff. Discord. Chat. Streaming some Pillars of Eternity. Sitting with a friend. This guy might want to DM some cyberpunk coming up here, so I'm gonna see if he's what days he's interested in and stuff. Howdy.
Hello, hello. What's up?
Oh, not much yourself.
Not much. Just getting some cyberpunk grind in. 2077.
Nice. Nice first playthrough or no?
Yeah, first playthrough.
That's pretty exciting, man.
Yeah.
It's really
Yeah.
exciting. My friend Aaron's in the channel right now. We were just hanging out.
What's up, man?
No worries. What's up, Aaron? My name's, given my username, my name's Ren, by the way.
Nice to meet you. I'm Robin. Oh,
Nice to meet you.
yeah, man.
Let's see.
So,
Alrighty.
you said you were planning on maybe GMing some games or what?
Yeah, I was looking at GMing some cyberpunk. I know you said you were interested in Red. I was kind of on the edge between Red and 2020.
If we're doing, it's like I'm really either or. I'm down for either because both settings are great and the rule sets are great. If we're using like you suggested Foundry, I think it was.
Yes.
Then everything's available on there, so we don't have to really worry about paper and all that kind of stuff. So I'm down for
Yeah,
for
exactly.
either system if you want.
Yeah, for sure.
I know if anyone
Right
wants to
now-
net run, it's going to be tough because 2020 is completely different in that regard, right?
Yeah. Right now, the pros and cons are the system for Red on Foundry is a lot more robust. Plus, it has like some cool cosmetic things that come with it. But 2020, I know, just has a lot more content with it.
Yeah, it's true. It's a lot less work for you as a GM to go and search for content to pull up and use.
Yeah, because it just has so many splat books with extra stuff in it and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, I have run both. I've been DMing for about a decade now, so
Nice.
No problem.
yeah, ran, I want to say like 6 to 8 months worth of 2020 back in the day.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Do you have a group of people you're planning on throwing together for it already, or is this just kind of we're just picking up at the start here?
You're the first person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, all my friends, I run a few other 5e games, and they have enough D&D for the week, so.
Nice. Ours, the D&D group I'm in, so I work Wednesday to Saturday, and then the second week, like this week I just got off, is Thursday to Saturday overnights. So like
Okay.
I'm free Sundays, Mondays, and Tuesdays, but my Mondays is usually, if my D&D group is getting together, it's always Mondays because that's what worked for everyone in that group.
Gotcha.
So I don't know what your work schedule is like or what things are like for you. What did you have in mind?
Yeah. It's weird for me. I'm off work right now due to health accommodation.
Yeah.
I'm getting my schedule changed because of it, so
Eyes.
not entirely sure, but I'm pretty sure I'll have Sundays off, which sound like a good day.
Yeah, okay. And if it's something where it happens like the whole group except me is available on say like Thursday or Friday or something, I'd be available every second Thursday or Friday or whatever that is, right? So I would be more concerned about accommodating the group than just myself if it came down to
Yeah.
scheduling. So
Yeah, of course.
I do know I have if it is Sundays, my DM just messaged me. He's like, "What the fuck is that?" I sent him something. He's just blown away by whatever the fuck it is. It was a commercial someone made for Starship Troopers action figures.
Mm-hmm.
It's terrible.
It's fucking.
Yeah, no, Aaron saw it. It's fucking horrendous.
It's fucking old video. It's like 2009.
Yeah, man. Like, I don't know who made that back then, but it's absolutely absurd. I'll
like
throw it in
good.
Discord, but
Shows-
I might have one other person that would be down for Sundays. I can ask them and see what's
Okay.
up. Maybe because I can ask my other DM if he's interested in Cyberpunk. I'm not sure what he's into, but he usually preps on Sundays. So I don't know if that eats into his prep time, or I'll ask a couple people and see what's up and keep you in the loop as far as it goes, man, and then we can figure out a start date whenever you want to do session 0 or whatever, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
That sounds really cool. And I
Yeah.
just stepped on a trap, cunt. My entire party is
and if-
petrified.
If you're asking people, go ahead and put out the question if anyone has a preference for 2020 or Red, just so I can get a feel for what everyone else wants to play.
Mm-hmm. And I do have the what's it called? My personal knowledge preference. I have the source books, the core books for Red and 2020's second edition, sitting at my table with me currently as well.
Awesome.
So like, if that's something like, we always have quick references available to both of us or the party, right?
Yeah.
Which is cool. And then Foundry. I've never used Foundry, so that's pretty wicked. I hear good things.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like Roll20, but in my personal opinion, a little bit better. Because it actually comes with modding capability, like built in.
Yeah, Roll20s is pretty basic, and then you gotta pay for more, or you have your own programs to like throw in whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
I went and bought where is it here? Like how I'm streaming this right now, my whole 0 people are fucking listening to this conversation. I went and bought a program called Dungeon Draft for mapping, and a bunch of resources for it. And it's pretty snazzy, man. I haven't had a chance to use it. I'm planning on running a Conan, the Modifius system. Planning on running Conan at the end of the month. Is my big one. I'm gonna do that on whatever off days I have.
Oh, yeah.
I got like a 5 adventure module I'm gonna run through, so I'll let you know about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe we have a couple groups going.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. Well, this is exciting. This is exciting. I've never actually sat at a table. I've owned books and I've had the Cyberpunk stuff forever, and I've never sat at a table and played. So that's why I'm like fresh to it.
Hey,
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're a big sci-fi person, my specialty as a DM is sci-fi, and so I've run Stars Without Numbers, Travelers, Cyberpunk, Starfinder.
I played Stars Without Numbers. That's a pretty cool system. That's a fun one.
Stars Without Numbers is really awesome.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, I'd have to say my personal favorite is probably Traveler.
Okay.
Just because it's the engineer in me just goes off because it's all like close to realistic spaceship. It's all about the ship. And you have to. It's a bit crunchy, but once you get past it, it's really interesting because you have to deal with escape velocities, orbit vectors. A bunch of math goes into it to
Actual
play the
space
game.
piloting, yeah, that's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's really rad. And it's one of the most customizable games I've seen. I want to say, math comes out to like a few million different combination of ships you can have.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and you can run any kind of, like you can do the typical like smuggler type deal, military type deal if you want. But their ships and their support for like, say you and the party want to run a cruise line that supports guests and you literally drive a space yacht or a space cruise.
Let's go.
Like, that's completely doable.
Let's go. Let's you.
Yeah, it has a really awesome robotics and computer system built into it. Everything has bandwidth, and you can install certain programs and create custom robots that will do things based on the programs installed in them.
That's some wild shit, man. I imagine that's a lot of theater of the mind because the amount of work it would take
Let's go.
for having visual aids. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I want to say
That's it.
the second edition book actually has. What they did is they have empty maps for all of the ship holes, and then they give you each like of the different like modular icons that you can Photoshop in or whatever, like GIMP, that you can add to the map based on what is actually in your party ship. But Traveler's also one of those games that has about 1 billion splat books that have rules for, you know, cybernetics and robotics and
Yeah,
yeah.
that's pretty great.
It's a really, really cool system. It's just hard to get people to want to play it.
Well, I imagine it's a pretty steep learning curve for just coming into a system that's so robust. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Especially with my friends who are all just play 5e for the simplicity. So.
Yeah, I started D&D 20 years ago with my best friend in like 3rd edition, and we tried. My big 2nd edition dive-in was like Baldur's Gate games, and like the books, reading into them and collecting them.
Oh yeah.
But slowly kind of spiraled out of that. We went to 4e. 4e was like, it's honestly fun, and it was simple for the DM, which was really great, but it really took away a lot of the creativity in like, you know, why am I going to go and smash this beam to knock down the roof on collapse like the roof of this mine on top of these enemies and seal this tunnel when I can just use this daily ability that does 17 weapon dice and like hits everything in a cone. And it's like it definitely would have been a great game system if they had marketed it as something else than D&D. You know what I mean? If they had taken it and done like what was the idea we had? If they had taken it and marketed it as something, fuck it, I have the Force and Destiny Star Wars. If you had done it as like a Star Wars thing, if they had got the rights to do it something like that, or even a Mass Effect structure of like a universe of some kind and presented it that way, people would have bought into the new game system and loved it. But because it was D&D, I think it just butchered it from the get-go.
Yeah, no, I understand. I started in 2013 with 3.5 because the DM at the time was like, no, we're absolutely not playing 4th edition. But at the time, that was like the most modern D&D that we had.
Yeah, and there's a lot of supplements out for it too, like a lot.
Yeah. But we kept bugging him about playing 4th edition. He was like, all right, let me show you why we don't play 4th edition. And we played like 4 or 5 sessions of it, and we were like, please, God, take us back.
Yeah. Yeah, when you're a D&D player and you want D&D, that's definitely didn't have the same feel as what you're looking for.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, we played Pathfinder for a little because it's just 3.5.
Pathfinder's pretty good.
5th edition, when 5th edition came out in 2015, we all moved to 5th edition, and I've just been sitting on that for however many years.
5th edition's a really great system. I think it's a real great middle of the road. It gives people, like newer people, a good place to start. Yeah, and even for people that want more complicated D&D, everything's there.
Yeah,
everything's there, and everything's convertible too from the 3rd edition over.
Yeah, so we were happy with 5th edition. It has its own interesting things, but we were also happy with it. Yeah, most of us were pissed off that the Ranger got fucked in 5th edition.
Yeah, that was everyone. Everyone was pissed about that. There's not a single person I know that wasn't upset about that.
Yeah, because what Ranger was to 3rd edition, what Rogue is to 5th edition currently. It was crazy. Or at least that's what I was told. I never played a Ranger.
Yeah, well, I think Ranger also didn't have the tool set for a lot of heavy combat,
Yeah.
the way that 5th edition can allow for,
Mhm.
which is whatever. That's a they ended up fixing it later down the road. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Sure. Definitely in a better state now, and God knows what's gonna happen with. Have you seen 1 D&D?
No, like first
Yeah, so
edition.
no. So they, I think it was like a D&D Beyond exclusive because WotC bought D&D Beyond. But on it they have playtest for 5.5 and or 6th edition, whatever they're gonna call it. But it's called 1 D&D. And they have like, I think it's like races, like their new description of races, a few spells and a few feats under a whole new system.
Weird.
Yeah, they're removing, so you know, like background feats, like the shitty background feats that everybody forgets about.
Yeah.
They're removing those, and your background just gives you like an actual like feat.
Weird.
Yeah. They removed the DM can't crit anymore. NPCs cannot crit.
What?
Yeah. NPCs. Well, it's kind of double-sided there because NPCs can no longer roll crit natural 20s, but they also can't crit fail either.
That's fucking gay.
Yeah.
That's super gay. What the fuck? That
Yeah.
takes away like a lot of the fun.
Mhm.
I'm ready.
Yeah. That was probably the most divisive change that they did.
Yeah, I definitely don't like that shit. Oh my god, will this vampire just die? Thank you. God, these tunnels. I'm doing the Endless Paths and Pillars of Eternity right now.
Yeah, I know it.
It's really great.
Mhm.
Aaron, you're sitting in channel right now. I don't know if what's your Sunday schedules like, man? Are you working
Yeah.
every Sunday?
No. Sometimes I might. It's kind of depends on how fucked the healthcare system is, but usually no, I'm not.
Yeah, I guess yours depends on the healthcare system. Fucking United States of no healthcare.
Well, you can get healthcare, just it's gonna cost you.
Yeah, in Canada everyone has healthcare, and it costs you money in taxes, and then you wait forever to do anything, like I am.
Mhm.
Yay, mental health help.
You in Canada?
Yeah, I'm out of
I'm stuck over here.
the fucking traps, man. Calgary, Alberta, right along the Rocky Mountains.
Okay. Yeah. For sure. I have one of my players is out of fuck. What's it called? It's West Coast, Canada.
British
BC?
Columbia, yeah.
BC, that's what. Yeah, British Columbia.
Yeah.
No
Yeah,
problem.
one of my players
Nice
is
and
out of
quiet.
BC.
BC is a nice place to live. Expensive as fuck, though.
Eyes open.
Yeah, I visited on a cruise once, and it's very beautiful. It was weird to think that peacocks were native to literally anywhere.
Oh yeah, no, the peacocks are retarded.
Sharks are real. That was-
And it's like Canadian geese are like my favorite animal in this country because like, oh, let's get our kid to feed the Canadian geese. Like pecks the kid in the eye, takes the food, bites the kid arm. Like just like don't feed the animals is like a safety measure in Canada. Like legitimately do not feed the fucking animals, you dumbass. It's pretty glorious. I love it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they also notably nerfed a lot of feats in 1D&D.
What?
Alert does not what Alert does in 5th edition. now it lets you add your proficiency bonus to initiative rolls, and it's actually a pretty cool effect. Initiative swap. So immediately after you roll initiative, you can swap your initiative score with a willing ally.
Okay, that stuff is like, I don't know, that's a part of other systems, which is pretty good.
Like, I feel like that should just be a base rule. But yeah, and someone said Lucky got nerfed, but I can't. It looks like it only got buffed because now you just have a number of luck points equal to your proficiency bonus instead of just 3.
That's equal to your proficiency bonus, so that goes up as you level. That's really good.
Yeah. So when you hit, I want to say it's every 4, so like 16th level, you have 6 of them.
Yeah, that's way better than it was before.
Yeah.
I don't know who's saying it
I
got
think-
nerfed, because that's not a nerf, but...
I guess the nerf comes in the form. So with Lucky and 5e, you could take either result, but in this, it's just you can give yourself advantage or give an attacker disadvantage. Which means you have to take the lower or higher result. I don't know why you wouldn't, but
Yeah.
there's no choice in it now, I guess.
I guess that's the part that kind of like takes away from what it was once, but it's really not that big of a deal when you're getting the opportunity to have 6 of them.
Yeah, everyone's just waiting for more playtest stuff to come out so we can keep shitting on it. Oh, and the racial ability score improvements aren't racial anymore. They're tied to your background.
Oh yeah, because they want to get rid of everything to do with fucking race. Don't even get me started on that bullshit. Like ruining Forgotten Realms in some way. Oh man. I'm very, very much like... Dark Elves are evil because they were descended from an evil god. It's not because they're black. Okay? Like... No, that's actually a thing, Aaron. Like they went and...
Yeah, I believe you.
In the most recent lore... what book was it they released it in? Where like they changed it so like dark elves aren't evil as a race. The ones
I
that
want to say that was Mordenkainen's, the new monster for the multiverse, because that or Tasha's, because both of those changed race significantly.
Yeah, they did a thing where that's like originally dark elves were written and designed that like all dark elves had like gone to the, in Forgotten Realms at least, had gone to the Underdark, and it'd be they follow an evil god. They were pushed there because they lost a war to the High Elves and the Woodland Elves, and then all this kind of shit because they were trying to do some evil stuff. And then the rare exception of dark elves that were good were like heroes like Dritz Duerden and like a couple others, and that was what made them special. And then they changed it so like, oh, this is just a cult of Lolth, and this is not actually how all dark elves are, and it's like, you guys suck, man. Like, fuck.
Like, why can't, like, if you have a player playing a drow, like, they can be good, because you have exceptions like Drist.
Yeah.
And, like, let them be exceptions, let them be special. Because if you have a race of creatures that was literally created by an evil god, then, you know, there's only so much you can do to... Oh, we're not evil, even though the thing that created us and controls us is completely, entirely evil.
Well, yeah, man, like, it just takes away, like, something that makes that group of people special. And that's just infuriating. All across the Eastern Reach, people are buried in graveyards returning from the dead as vampires. Yeah, I know, I'm fighting them in this fucking basement of my goddamn keep. Examination by locals revealed animancers and tampered with several gravesites prior to the burial. Let's assign someone to deal with this. Let's assign my druid.
Yeah, I'm pissed off that they're removing negative stuff from races.
Yeah, that's the other thing is like I don't mind some. Like I liked that you know, if you were playing half orc, you received like
Mhm.
a -1 to int or something like that. Like not
Yeah.
major negatives, just like minor shit that like just played into the flavor of the character. And if you wanted to do
Mhm.
a half orc wizard, you still could. You took a penalty for it, but you still could. And it's not like your DM couldn't just hand wave it and be like, no, because you have some rare gift that's given to you over
Mhm.
time. You don't no longer suffer that penalty. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I had a very long discussion with a friend about that. And I was like, I understand why they're doing it. For two reasons. One, it's racist to say that a person can have negative traits. Good job. Um,
Yeah, that's a lot of
and that
assumption,
it's
right? This,
yeah, it's not like power gamey enough, or not power gamey. It doesn't fulfill that god fantasy that someone has flaws, right?
I feel like a lot of it has to do more so with sales and the public perception of things these days for Wizards of the Coast. Where
Oh
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
look at
undoubtedly.
the... Because what's the predominant group of people that buys their stuff?
Mhm.
Is people that are, you know, somewhat social outcasts for the most part. Like that's the group of people that get into D&D and stuff for particular reasons. At
Mhm.
least it used to be. I don't know what it's like in fucking high school and shit anymore, but
Oh, I mean, it's D&D is very mainstream. It's still nerdy, but I mean,
it's more
it's equivalent
mainstream
to
than it's
someone.
ever been. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's more equivalent to like playing video games. Like I could see like a jock football player doing it.
Well, I was a football player for a long time and I still played it, but it's like it's because we started
Yeah.
when we were like grade 7 and my best friend
Yeah.
had like the second edition books and the third edition books. And it's like,
Mhm.
let's sit on the porch and play with this sheet of paper and some dice that we don't know what the fuck we're doing. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah, I just meant like talking about that was a very stereotypical thing to
no, no,
say.
it's true though,
Not
but
nerdy
it's
people.
it's like you get more people getting together to play it at schools and stuff now than you ever used to.
Mhm.
You
Very.
think D&D is
Especially.
like an allegory to life, and therefore it's fair to have, you know, like a outside world influence on it, such as like the racial, getting rid of the racial and whatnot. Or
Uh,
such as like pure fantasy. You know what I mean?
the only problem I find with any of that is like
Sure.
you're playing a game that's set in a fantasy world so you can escape the real world, but we're taking the tropes and expectations and biases of the real world and forcing it upon the fantasy world and everyone that wants new content. So it's like it's not so much like if you want to play a system where dark elves are good and they're like transgender whatever and the fucking wheelchair that can do everything and float and all that bullshit that's come out. So if you want to do all that stuff, that's fantastic. Like good for you, that's a part of your game. But let's not forcibly put it into new content that when all's like the main group of D&D people just want is more supplements. Like the thing about Third Ed was so great is you have like hundreds of supplements. I have the Oriental Adventures supplement sitting right next to me, and you will never see that supplement come out again because of the way the world is right now. They'll be like, "Oh, well there's way too much, you know, stealing from this race and this group of people and their beliefs and it's a fucking fantasy game, man." Like
And it's not
Jesus.
stealing. It's called inspiration.
Yeah, like and the whole like oh you're misrepresenting this group of people. It's like well I'm not representing those fucking people. I'm representing a warforged who happens to be a samurai that likes to crush stuff with his mace, and ends up working for this daimyo because he's from a different continent and they call their lords and ladies different shit. Like, and it's just
Yeah.
inspired by the Eastern influences that people came up with, which it's unfortunate because that supplement is fucking amazing. Fucking amazing. Like Shugenja and like shamans and like all
Yeah.
that wild shit they have in there. Whew,
Absolutely.
they got some cool stuff.
Yeah.
That's my
Yeah.
rant.
And like my whole thing with it is I love the reason I don't play fifth. Well, I play fifth edition, but purely because that's what my friends play.
Yeah.
But the reason I try and play other systems so often is because 5th edition has no
I'll
downsides.
see what I
Like
can
when you're
find.
building a character, there are no drawbacks, there are no downsides, there's no risk reward. You just pick the things you want and you're powerful. Right? The only downside I could see is like the opportunity of cost of picking one spell over the other.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
But with other systems, it is so ingrained that like with Cyberpunk, right?
Mhm.
Oh, I'm gonna install all this cool cyberware and all this shit and watch my humanity tank and go into cyberpsychosis.
Yeah, you're gonna lose your mind slowly as you do that.
Like there's actual downsides and negatives to things. Like the game, like
There's some
I
give and
shouldn't even
take
say
there, yeah.
Cyberpunk, but every other system isn't afraid to punish you for picking powerful options, which I think is the way it should be.
Well, and even in real life, that's one thing about, like, I'll use The Witcher, for example. The magic in that is, like, there's some give and take there. Like, you have to give something to get something out of it. And same in Conan, when I'm going through the Conan sorcery. It's like, I have... My best friend wants to play a sorcerer of Set, and it's going to be great. And he's probably... I've been playing D&D with him for 20 plus years, and if anyone's going to be able to pull off the sorcery aspect of it, it's going to be this guy. I bought him the Book of Skelos supplement for it, so he has all the extra sorcery supplements, right? But there's a thing in there that talks about how, like, sorcery is something that corrupts you and turns you evil, or it isn't normally inherently evil, and there's a balance you have to keep, and because it's not like you get the spell Fireball and you can cast it 5 times a day, right? No, he has the stuff that's like necessary. We'll use reagents for a term. The reagents or sacrifices are things that are necessary to cast the spell, and there's stuff like there's an enchantment spell that you get, but what the enchantment is upon the item that you're putting it on is up to you and the DM. What if you're cursing something, the curse and the trigger for the curse and like all kinds of shit is up to you and the DM. The difficulty of rolling and succeeding on casting that spell is based on what you're trying to do, right? So that's where that comes in. There's a lot more free form with the magic, but also it's like if you're putting a curse upon someone that activates at the next full moon or whatever it is, right? It's like you have to succeed on your roll, but doing so can negatively impact, like corrupt you as an individual and slowly draw you into whether it's madness or being more evil, and then eventually like he could go like full madhouse and end up turning into the point where it's no longer like he can play that character. It's like, okay, hand me your character sheet. It's like your the next upkeep period, your sorcerer has disappeared and none of you know where he is, and then later down the line they run into him and he's leading like an evil cult of snake people and shit like that and wants to wipe out the party for some believed slight or whatever it is. And that's all. Like there's major negatives to using magic in that universe. That's not like it says right in the book, it's not a heroic act to be using magic on a regular basis. But there is goodly magic in there. It's just it's few and far between, and some gnarly shit, man. I like that about systems too, when they give you some evil, some good, some takeaways, some bonuses. And I think that was something too. I listened to a podcast starring Tim Kask, one of the original 2nd edition and 1st edition designers with Gary Gygax. He used to be the editor of like Dungeon magazine. And he talks about how they like the Tomb of Horrors and stuff was designed in a way to deal with people that were, oh, this is my like 17th level paladin and he has this keep and all these knights and blah 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 blah. And it's like, okay, you open up the wrong door, the Sphere of Annihilation destroys your soul, you're dead. Okay, like there's to reduce power gaming because they used to be in tournaments, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm excited to play Cyberpunk, man. If we end up with a party getting together.
Yeah, for sure. I'm currently trying to find any documentation on like 2020 to red. See what people are saying. A lot of people are saying that they're mostly compatible.
They are. I've read like the Nomad supplement from 2020 over to Red, and there's a lot of stuff that's in there that's very compatible.
Yeah,
I
the
think
main thing I'm looking at is like
I think it's net running is the big one that's like the major difference between the two.
yeah, which you could probably just pick one or the other to use.
Honestly, the red one, from what I hear from people, is less work for the GM and more involved with the party because you have to be on site. Like after the
Yeah.
fourth corporate war, you have to like be on site in order to hack into these closed systems and all that kind of stuff, right? And they just really streamlined it.
Yeah.
They also streamlined character creation.
Yeah, which was nice. I've done 2020 character creation a lot, and Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's pretty gnarly. I just found a fucking unique crossbow. Jesus.
Nice.
Nobody even
It's not
uses a
as-
crossbow. Sorry.
I'll tell you, it's not as bad as Traveler character creation. Because I played a shit ton of Traveler. Holy fuck. I think the one thing that turns most people off from playing Traveler when I introduce them is the fact that 90% of what you're doing is decided on rolls. So say you're like, oh, I want my character to go to college, like during their backstory.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you have to roll for admittance, and then you have to roll for every, I can't remember what they're called, but it's like you roll for like sections of 4 years of your life.
Oh, Jesus.
And so it's like, you have to roll for each to see if you stay in. And then if you don't, you, like, say you fail a roll, you get forcibly kicked out. Which, like, realistic, I guess. Is it fun? Not really.
No, yeah, that's like too much can be too tedious and drive people away from it, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, the main thing was that like they couldn't choose what their character was. Like they couldn't, like you couldn't make, oh, my character is a graduate of computer science from this college, right? Well, you don't get to decide that. The game gets to decide whether you do graduate or not. But most of that, I think, the worst one was in first edition Traveler, where your character could die during character creation.
What the fuck? Like, what's the point of making a fucking character then? Like,
Hey, we just wait for 2 hours.
yeah, I'm glad I wasted 2 hours at the table with my friends to fucking die. Like, that would be it, is like, it would turn it into a session of like trying to make sure your character doesn't die, and then you get to
Yeah.
play them at the table. That's wild.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I remember my group, we tried it for a little bit, because this was like maybe a few months before second edition had come out. And second edition removed it entirely, because of course. But we played with it, and it was like, oh, my character died? Cool. My next character that I'm going to roll the backstory for is a carbon copy of the first one. Except with the fact that I have to start over again.
What? Yeah, no, true. You can just be
Yeah.
like, okay, well, I try and do all the same shit, and then you have to go through and re-roll everything.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Some systems get like the hard mode stuff right in the right spots, and some, like even Cyberpunk has some stuff where it's like shooting. Like I rolled a tech on my Cyberpunk Red, and it's like I have skills in shoulder weapons, but not in handguns. And I'm like, me being a guy that's worked like a long history of security and is into firearms and worked with firearms as an armed guard, like there's an inherent difference in the skill of shooting a handgun versus a shoulder-mounted weapon, for sure.
Yeah.
But I definitely think rather than having nothing in a handgun, you should definitely get a 2. Like everyone should get like a 1 or a 2 or something like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I know there are some systems that use, not like, because I know the skills associate with an ability score, right?
Yeah.
But there are some systems that use, kind of like a descending skill tree where it's like you can have steel and firearms, right?
Yeah.
But then say you have 10 points worth of firearm skill. Well, you decide how that 10 points is split up between handguns, shoulder-mounted weapons, heavy weaponry.
Yeah.
But you don't have to put extra points into one specific one. Whenever you gain them, it just goes into firearms, and you decide from there how it's split up. But I could always say, like say you dump all of it into handguns. I'm like, oh, make a shoulder-mounted weapon check. You can add half of your total firearm score to that check.
That's pretty gnarly.
Yeah. So it allows, like, oh, if you're good with firearms, then you're good with firearms. It's, might be better with one or the other. But it's all cross-compatible.
Oh, shit!
Yeah, I don't want to say Traveler does it. Because a lot of the skills in Traveler are kind of like how, I want to say Cyberpunk Science, the Science Guild did this, where it was like a write-in, where you could like write in whatever specific science field you were...
Yeah, I just did that on, because I rolled a tech while I was sitting at work the other night.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you get to pick one science skill, and I'm looking at the, like, examples, and I'm like, is mechanical engineering a science skill? And I was like sitting there, and I like Googled it, and I'm like, I can't really get like a serious answer on it, because it's engineering, but I'm like, I'll just go with physics?
Yeah,
Like,
I want to say with 2020, like the write-ins, like you can put in anything.
well, that's the, like, Red does the same thing. Like, I could have put in anything, I just don't know if mechanical engineering would fit into science. Like, that'd be something with the GM to talk about. It's like, would you accept mechanical engineering, or would you want me to go with something more, textbooks wise?
I mean, me personally, I would say, yeah. I would put mechanical engineering as a science, sure.
Oh, I'm gonna bite the dust.
But my general kind of rulings for all of that is like, if you can explain it and make it make sense to me, I'll allow it.
See, and that's some good shit. And that's the way, like, you need that flexibility to have, like, a good party and people have fun, is basically what it comes down to, right?
Yeah, I had to learn that with Traveler, because what I was saying is, like, not just a few skills are write-ins, like, half the skills in Traveler are fill-ins.
Jesus.
You can write whatever you want. And so I had to learn very quickly to be like, does that apply here? Does theoretical physics apply to this particular check? I don't know.
Why is... Sorry.
I was playing Traveler with all engineering majors, so...
Oh yeah, that'd be definitely something. I'll say that. Like,
yeah,
that would be an experience and a half. It's like,
yeah,
why?
they had one of my favorite moments in all of role-playing games. They had left their ship in orbit and used like a smaller ship to go planet-side for a mission. And there was an agent who had hidden their berth, which is like a cryo chamber. He comes out and is about to steal the ship. And by God, the speed at which they came up with the solution. One of them was a hacker and had complete remote control over the ship.
Yeah.
Closed off all sealable hatches and made a small path of open doorways from the engine room to the cockpit. Let the generator run, building up gases in that chamber, and then redirected all of the power from the engine to the console of the cockpit, causing an explosion.
That's pretty gnarly.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, and I was like, I mean, yeah, you blow up the front half of your ship, but you're dead. It's a good job.
That's some gnarly shit, man.
Yeah, engineers, God, they...
Some engineers. I was an electrician for a while, and there were some electrical engineers that didn't know their ass from a hole in the ground.
Yeah.
I was like, you're a nice dude, but you need a different line of work.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But that's every job everywhere, I feel, has that.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, when you're playing with good engineers,
Damn you.
they will put you
Let's go.
through your paces as a DM. Because as a non-engineer, there has to be a point where I have to go, you know, I will take your word that that works the way it works.
Yeah, like I'm
I'll
bad
try
with
to
math,
think.
and the character I rolled is like supposed to be a crazy inventor
Let's go.
from Eastern
Mhm.
Europe. And I was just looking at it, I'm like, like I better have a calculator available for some of the shit I'm gonna be. I invent this thing that needs to have like this level of power output and do some quick math on it, and like, ugh. Some people are wild that way, man. They got
Yeah,
good heavy
Sure.
brain skills like that.
yeah, for sure. Now, quick question for you.
Yeah.
So I have a homebrew sci-fi setting that I run 99% of my sci-fi games in. Would you rather, and I am impartial to which one it is. Would you want to play in that homebrew setting, or would you rather just play in Night City, like Cyberpunk World?
It like to I don't know. I like to play like the cyberpunk system and all the stuff that comes with it.
Yeah.
If you're talking about just the campaign setting itself, I'm not necessarily opposed to it. Is it
Yeah.
something where
Have you
we're doing more
seen-
like space travel and stuff, or is it like more
A
grounded?
little bit. Have you seen Cowboy Bebop?
Yeah.
So the world is a little structured like that, where most potentially habitable planets within our solar system have been inhabited, plus a number of people that have gone out of system.
Mhm.
Earth is pretty much Coruscant at this point, just one massive planet-wide city.
Yeah.
And a lot of the game, I'll say with the cyberpunk system, it would be more grounded. It would probably take place in either an isolated city or some section of Terra, specifically. Just given that that's the kind of the idea of cyberpunk. It's about it's not like interplanetary, planet threats. It's all about individuals, trying to make their way through the grime and muck.
That's what I'm trying to get in for, is that grounded cyberpunk, like you do whatever you can to survive and get by and all that kind of stuff, but it's definitely not like that's what I'm looking for. There are vast powers of corporations and governments that are beyond what our characters are capable of really dealing with.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, with cyberpunk, I would keep it low to the ground.
Yeah, so like if we're playing Cyberpunk, I'll play either setting, man. It's not a big deal to me.
Yeah.
I leave that totally up to you.
Yeah, with my setting, there would be the potential for space travel.
Mhm.
And it would probably be more common in Cyberpunk. I know there are habitated satellites that orbit Earth.
There is space travel. I think the moon is colonized in Cyberpunk as well.
Mm-hmm.
But like you have to be really fucking rich or like sneak your way
Yeah.
out there, right?
Yeah. So if I did some form of space travel, it wouldn't be Star Wars. It would be like you guys are stuck in a tin can, ready to explode at any moment.
Jesus, that's nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Nerve-wracking.
Because I know 2020 has. I want to say the book's called Deep Space, and it introduces mechanics for the tabletop game for space travel and all that.
Yeah.
And what does the flame reveal?
So that's definitely something to think about. Though I do kind of like the idea of like being in the very classic like Night City setting.
Well, that's the thing, is like Night City is one city out of like the entire planet of what's available.
Yeah.
So it's
Mhm.
like that's why if we're like still in your setting and we're like on Earth or like wherever the hell, like as long as it fits Cyberpunk, man, I'm down. Cuz I want to try playing the system, I want to try out characters, I want to be that morally gray fucking weirdo that's like, "Nah, let's not feed the starving orphans cuz it's taking out of my bottom end." Like I don't know.
Yeah, and yeah, I'll let you know. I'm good at both sides of sci-fi, and I would definitely keep it very
But, yeah,
morally gray, grimy. I've been playing cyber. I've been interacting with the cyberpunk world for a while, and so
Mm-hmm.
I definitely know how to pull on those very like, this is a shitty place to be, kind of wrenches. Like no matter where you go, whether it's the slums or at the top of a corporate skyscraper, everybody around you is trying to fuck you over and get one over on you.
Oh boy.
There are no nice people in Night City.
What? I can continue to make the chance longer? I'm retarded. Emboldens allies in the area. Oh god.
Yeah, I was wondering, do you have an idea for a character kind of already in mind?
The one I rolled the other day is a tech, like a crazy inventor kind of tech guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, I'm gonna take these grenades that we found and take some time to piece them apart and turn them into, now these EMP grenades are like EMP shotgun rounds, like
Yeah.
stuff like that. So that's what I rolled so far, just for fun. Other ideas, like I'd look at what other people in the party would want to play,
Yeah.
whatever they had an interest, and see, kind of go from there to make sure that there's a balance, or if there's something someone really wants to run.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's usually one person that always really wants to be a net runner, so it's like I usually
Net
leave that off to the side.
net running is really fucking cool.
It is.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where I'm sitting on a tech right now. It's a tech, or maybe a lawman, like an undercover lawman of some kind.
Okay. Okay. Let me go actually get Cyberpunk Red. I've read a little bit of it, but I don't own the PDF.
I will say it's a pretty great book. Like it's really well laid out. Through character creation is really simple. Like I did. There's 3 different ways to generate your character. I'm just opening it right now.
Yeah, it definitely looks easier to read than 2020
Oh,
does.
2020 is fucking abysmal to read, but that's like the 80s and 90s of role-playing games.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah, there's 3 ways to generate characters. So you generate your life path, and there's Street Rat, which is like very templated. There's Edge Runner, which is kind of in between that and the complicated version, and then there's Custom, which is like the big one. And so like
Yeah.
for the life path, I did the custom one to get the most depth out of like the character background. And then stats, I went to the Street Rat, which it has tables. And it's like, hey, if you're a tech, go to this table, and it's roll a 1d10, and take that stat array, and don't interchange your numbers. Like your int is what it says on that stat array. So like mine ended up being, where's my character sheet here? Yuri Romanov. So like mine ended up being 7 int, 8 reflex, 7 dex, 8 tech, 4 cool, 4 will, 6 luck, 5 move, 6 body, 7 empathy. So like I rolled one of the rows, and that's like you would just put them in order there, and then that's what I build the rest of my character off of for stats. And then the same thing when I went to skills. So like when I went to the skill page, there are 3 ways. There's the Street Rat, which is the template. There's the Edge Runner, so like that gives you a list of skills that you buy into, and then you take 86 points and you buy into those skills. Or there's the custom one where you get like, depending on what your GM wants. Where was it? What's the numbers they had for them? There was 3 or 4 different sizes of skill pools you could choose from, depending on the types of characters your GM wanted people to play. I'm just looking for it now. And they're all the same, like no skill can be higher than 6. Certain like base skills must be at level 2. Skills marked in a master skill list do a ×2 cost on your skill points. All other skills are 1 skill point by 1. Where the fuck is it? Oh my god, it actually like had it here. I'm just looking at the wrong page, I guarantee you.
God, how
And-
long is this? Why is there just? I guess a story. This is kind of cool.
Yeah, they open it
The-
up with a
like the-
story right off the bat.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be 17 pages, but
No, it does not, but it's definitely cool for people that are first timers.
yeah, for sure.
So edge runners get 86 skill points distributed between the skills you can use. Oh, I was thinking of attributes, sorry. So you get 86 skill points in your skills. If you're doing the complete method for your stats, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stat point arrays you can choose. And it's like rank of character. Minor supporting character gets to start with 50 stat points. Starting character normally is 62. Major supporting character is 70. Minor hero 75. Major hero 80. And so like if you want really beefed up characters, you can go with the 80 stat thing
Yeah.
and like kind of dump that into the stats and have your party be wherever you want them to be. It's not like 2 bullets can't ruin every single character in the fucking game, you know what I mean? Because it
Yeah.
totally can. It's the way it works.
Yeah.
I was even thinking of rolling a medic that used to be a part of Trauma Team.
That's cool. That's honestly my favorite group in Cyberpunk is the Trauma Team. I think they're badass.
Yeah, they're really badass, and that's something like if the party wanted to be like a group of people that worked for Trauma Team in some way, it's like that'd be some gnarly shit. Like I'd totally roll like a bunch of combat medics, and we all roll around doing that shit.
Yeah, we can definitely talk about like if we want to do kind of a themed like we're all Militech, we're all Trauma Team. If we want to do something like that, I'm totally down. Cuz I think it would be super fun to have like an episodic like Trauma Team response of the week style game.
Yeah, and that gives us like something to try. Like there's combat, there's a mixture of everything. Or we're all like the lawman angle. It's like we're all somehow connected to this fixer
Yeah.
that. Oh, what was it? It's like you have a fixer that's out there to like get paid and get rich, but at the same time he's indentured to the lawman in the party in some way. So like they're both working in some overarching way to, you know, bring in what the police departments want to bring in and get information, so on and so forth.
Yeah, like the lawman accidentally picked up dirt on the fixer and is using it. That'd be cool. All right. So I have it here now. Let's take a look. So you said the complete packages is by far the most complex way. Okay. The
Yeah.
fun way, pretty much.
Well, if you're really deep into
Eh?
depends on how you want to run your character, right?
Eh?
Oh, do you pick on like a character by character basis?
Or
Or does the DM decide?
like the DM can decide everyone does it that way, or if a certain player is like comfortable. Like, say Aaron's newer, right? So it might be easier for Aaron to go with a street rat build
Yeah.
and come up with it that way. Like I did the complete path for my life story, and then I did street rat for everything else just to simplify it, like even my gear. And then when it comes to
Okay.
like the eddies that I get at the end, I'll take those eddies and buy additional gear that I want to throw onto my character.
Okay.
Yeah, and just like
Cool.
it's pretty much all up to the DM on what they want to run character creation like, which is good because it gives you method for intermediates, method for people who are experts, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, for sure. I like that because I'm the kind of DM that would just let everyone choose how they did it.
Yeah, and
based
it's
on
no
what
way
they
to
want with their character.
like if you're doing the complete stat build, then it's the DM says, well, only go with the starting character, like the 62 points. Don't go to 80 or 70 or 75. Right?
Let's go.
That's not
Oh,
very
yeah.
helpful.
And I'm definitely the DM that's like, whatever the smallest amount of points I can give you guys, I'll take it. 'Cause that's
Yeah.
nice and nitty and gritty. So that was always my favorite thing about playing 2020.
Yeah.
Is I was playing with a bunch of D&D people who were so used to like running into fights. Just, oh, you know, I have 100 hit points, I'm fine. It's like this. It's like, oh, you got shot in the chest? Bye.
Yeah, like, do you have a trauma team account at all? Like, are they on
Mhm.
their way? Do you have a medic in the party that can stop you from bleeding out? Like, oh, shit.
Yeah. But they learned really quickly that one, they need armor, and two,
How may I help?
I had someone playing a solo who was all like accuracy and handguns, and by God,
Got it.
that guy made heads explode every corner he turned.
Yeah, like, if you have someone that's, like, combat-focused solo, they can lay down the rape.
Yeah. Because headshots in 2020, it doesn't matter what it is, insta kill, every time. It's like, cool, I don't want this enemy to play the game, I'll headshot. And he had a bunch of cyberware that let him add a bunch of bonuses to shit, and that was the thing. I think that was what people were saying about the 2020 to red conversion, was that some of the numbers need to be tweaked. Because 2020, the numbers that you get, the bonuses, are a lot higher than red.
That's interesting.
Yeah, because there was like mid-game shit that would give you like plus 15, plus 20 to shit. I think humanity was also scaled up. Like, you lost a lot more humanity for shit in 2020.
Oh, fuck, cutscene. There's a lot of undead surrounding me. The center of this massive Aedra structure. Beneath the long shadow of the Titan's curled fingers sits what appears to be a man. Unlike the slavering animalistic creatures, this man is regally composed. What are you then? One of theirs? Strange that you survived the planning stages. Speaks to you in fluid and within. It's hard for them, those beggars, those cowards, but you don't know any further? No. That's right, I learned in within from that fucking weird undead chick. Yes.
Would you happen to know if there's any official maps for Night City for Cyberpunk Red?
No. Now I'm Googling it. Oh, Night City Cyberpunk 2045 interactive map. Okay,
Oh, they have an interactive map? Hell yeah.
right here. I just put it in the general chat in this.
Oh, awesome. This looks rad.
Oh, and there's that hot zone, yeah, where there's like the radiation and shit in the center of the city.
Yup.
Thanks, Johnny.
Thank you, Johnny. I'm so glad they included that in the game.
My favorite part of the entire game is that mission. Like, you go through, he sets the bomb, and as he's escaping, Atom Smasher gets him. And then the
Yeah.
other part of it is like at the end of the game, you've beaten the game, right?
I've not.
Oh, I don't want to spoil
Yeah,
something.
don't spoil it for me.
No, there's some cool, there's like different ways you can go about like final missions, and there's a secret way where if you don't say anything in deciding what you're going to do for the end of the game, you go through and you do all of them. It's like a hard mode fucking. You do every mission in a because they all connect in like a storyline basis. And one of them got my 2020 feels so hard, and some shit happens in it, and it made me cry. And
Yeah.
important character deaths and stuff, man.
Yeah, I knew there was multiple endings, but I haven't looked at any of them.
No, there's one that's like completely tied to the lore of the 2020, like Arasaka Tower and all that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
it's all tied to it, but like there's one that specifically is a lot more regal for Johnny and the characters that surrounded him.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh, okay. They have in the PDF of Red. They have a map. It's
Yeah,
kind
there's
of
one in the book. The afterlife is right near the hot zone, like pretty much right in it. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's not like the bomb wiped out like a giant swath of the city so bad. Like it did, but it was more a
Yeah.
radiation bomb, right?
Yeah. It wasn't like a. It wasn't
City killer.
yeah, it wasn't an H bomb. Absolutely not.
Oh, Club Atlantis still exists in this too. That's the major one from 2020.
Yeah.
That's on the south side of the hot zone. Hey, edge runners, let's stop meeting in the area that's super irradiated. You know what I mean? Like, let's stop going to the bars in that section of the city, maybe.
Yeah. Really.
You cunts.
Oh yeah. And the great thing is Foundry has a module. Let me go find what it's called.
I should probably make an account there.
You do not need to.
Aaron, are you wanting to get in on this or what? Is he still alive? I think he died.
Say that again?
Are you wanting to get in on this game on Sundays?
Yeah, sure, I'm down.
Oh yeah.
Well, you got two.
Awesome.
Well preserved.
I can also I can go looking for people if you wanna find people for the game. I'm down.
I can ask a couple other people and see what their do you want to play?
There we go. Foundry has a module called Inline Web Viewer. So I could actually grab this website and have some Foundry integration with it.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and make a... Where is it? Create channel. Or just do I create group? 1 second. Create category. Cyberpunk Sundays. So there you go. Cyberpunk Sundays is at the bottom of the channel here. I'm going to create a text for general. Create a text for lore. And create a text for characters. No. Map's gonna be in that.
Oh, here, I can recommend some channels. I have a character creation channel. You have a lore channel already. Something I do that a lot of people love, an NPC list. Where, like, I'll put, whenever you guys meet NPCs, I'll put their name in.
Okay, NPC list, that's a good one. That's some good stuff to start with right now.
Yeah, yeah. And then just, like, a voice channel. Unless you just want to do it in here. Let me see if I can.
Well, edge runners, and then there's always good to have a Secret space. So if there's like
Yeah.
information that's going to be privy to you and a specific character, you hop in the separate voice channel.
Yes.
That's
yes,
what we
yes,
were
yes.
doing in D&D. There's like a main one, and then there's one for separate. There you go. Let's see. At everyone. Okay. Fun. Fiancés at her sister's. I don't care.
Awesome.
Ren is looking to GM a cyberpunk campaign on Sundays. Where are you located?
Time zone wise?
Yeah.
CST.
Central? You're in the Midwest
Yeah,
then?
central.
So you're only an hour
I'm in-
ahead of me, I think. In General Mountain Time.
If you're in, yeah, I'm an hour ahead.
What time on
Yeah, I
Sundays would
live.
be good starting times for you? And how many hours are you thinking we should play?
Oh God. I should be off all Sunday, so I'm not picky about what time we start. If you want me to like hard set a time, I can do that. And I'm fond of like full 4 hour sessions, but if people need to play shorter than that, then I can do that.
We usually do D&D as like 3-4 hours, like whatever it kind of
Yeah.
takes, and like cut it at. We usually play 5 to 9 on Mondays, because it fits everyone like going to bed and then later in the day. So if they need to do stuff during the day, Monday, or work, they can make it to it. So like,
Yeah.
would 5 to 9 be a good period for you or no?
Yeah, 5 to 9 would work.
Okay. So we'll do. I'll put it 5 to 9 p.m. Central Time. That's 4 to 8 p.m. Calgary time. And 3 to 7 Coastal time.
Awesome.
Currently.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm speaking as I'm typing. Go ahead, man.
No, you're fine. I was gonna say that's I got the inline web viewer on Foundry to work, so now there's a journal entry, and if you just click on it, it opens up Night City IO. It saves me time from having to make a map.
Nice. And how many people you want at the table? What's kind of your max limit?
My max is 6, but like 3 to 4 is my comfortable spot.
Okay. Looking for
Probably get Jesse and Andrew to agree. What do you think?
Yeah, I asked Andrin. He hasn't answered. Actually, I'm not going to do everyone because I want to. There's 2 players. Looking for 2 or possibly 3 more. Keep 5 kind of the max. Let's do Treasure Goblin at War at So I know one guy that would play, but he works every Sunday, and he can't fix his schedule because
Mm.
he needs his work.
I got you.
That guy's in Australia. That wouldn't work. Um, Cat app is him. Okay, that's who's the other person I wanted to. So I don't need to make a Foundry account at all?
No, let me get you in here just so you can see it real quick.
Do you throw it in the general Cyberpunk chat? We'll, I guess everyone
Yeah,
can
I'll
use
put
that
it
link to
there.
connect, right?
Yeah, so boom, boom. And you'll click on it. Let me also make user.
Oh, so CP, join a game, select user.
Yeah, sorry, I'm really bad with names. Your name again?
Robin.
Robin. That's right. I'll remember that eventually. Turn. Alrighty, if you reload the page and do the user dropdown, you will see your name, and you don't have a password, so you just click your name and hit join.
I'll drop out of this. I think Andron's a pass because he preps on that day. Okay, I
Gotcha.
made channels in the Discord. I have in mastication station. Okay, click on that again. Ba 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 ba. Sweet. Just click join. Ooh, player color. Ooh, I can make myself a cool cyan color. Oh, I can't choose my avatar?
Should be able to.
Yeah, there's only one. I don't give a shit. Keep that for now.
Oh, I think you just have to upload it, which I don't know if you have access to. Here, I can
Do that
change
later.
real quick.
Not a big deal.
Yeah. But on the right, like all your little tools,
Yep.
there's a bunch of people. The actors directory. That's where all the sheets are kept, and I gave you ownership of the one that says 1.
Okay.
So if you want to look at that, mess around with it.
Yeah, view character artwork. Okay, I'm gonna save my Pillars of Eternity game. Oh, I can't. I'm in the middle of talking to this